Sophia texted me like 2 minutes before I got on the phone with you guys. So I will be calling her the moment we're off.
That is what I absolutely also love, because you guys have all stayed really close, which is so impressive. I think that's why people love going back to the show also, because they see you guys at these conventions and these charity events, and you're all still so close. And it's so nice to see. How have you guys maintained all of those relationships?
I mean, look, we grew up together. When we started the show, when I was cast when I was 20 years old. I think Lafferty was like still in high school. I was 20. Everyone else was approximately the same age. Sophia and I we were born 7 days apart. And so we literally turned 21 together and just like had our first big break on this TV show. And she and I hit it running. We were just like, yes. And Joy,
that's unreal.
Joy was that theater kid that I was growing up. And so to find each other at like 20, 21 years old was so great, because it was like, oh yes, you're one of my people, and then the boys, you look at the way the boys stood by us when the whole Mark Schwann thing came out. The boys always supported us. They protected us. And I'm so in love with our little family. And we have squabbles like families do. They're few and far between, but I take a bullet for those kids. I love them.
That is so nice to hear, and honestly makes me feel so happy from the bottom of my heart, because whenever we talk to people who, we've loved their shows from the past, and you never know if someone is going to be annoyed that, because some, like if you think about Disney Channel stars, some of them, they don't even want anything to do with their TV shows, but you love them so much and you just want to talk about it. So that's how we feel with One Tree Hill. I mean, my cousin just started it, and I debated not speaking to her. I was like, that's actually a sin that you haven't seen it already. Seriously, we may not talk for a little bit. But it's just so good.
My son is just like, who the hell is Peyton Sawyer? Like, why do we care? I don't know about you. Sorry.
He'll figure it out eventually, because
he's gonna be mortified.
Right. There's just an age where I feel like, especially with girls and boys, obviously, but I feel like you hit an age, and because you can stream all these shows, you go and you watch, like eventually his friends are going to be like, I started One Tree Hill on Hulu, and is that your mom?
It's so dicey. I remember the actress who played my mother, Cheryl Lee. I fell in love with her. She played Ellie. I really, really loved her. And I was up for this part while I was working with her. I was 23. And the part required nudity. And I was really just like, I don't know. And Cheryl told me, she said, you don't do it. You're going to have kids one day. Probability of it being a boy is 50-50. You don't need your son going into middle school and other people holding up pictures of your boobs. So she saved me a lot of grief because I didn't do that job.
That is
amazing and a great point, actually. I feel like
life lessons, man. Who knew?
It definitely is. So I know, like, we have 9 billion One Tree Hill questions we could ask you. I think we'll stick to just a couple, but one of them that I've always wanted to know is, obviously Peyton went through so much on that show. Looking back now, what do you think was one of your favorite Peyton storylines?
Yeah, I mean, I loved the stuff with Cheryl Lee, who I just mentioned. I connected with her in a way that I just saw her for the first time after, 10 years, 15 years at a convention we did in Wilmington in February, and I burst into tears. She's just someone who I love, and I was so sad when she died. Like, when you see Peyton crying, that's like Hilarie Burton, really upset that I just lost my new friend. So yeah, I really loved that storyline. I thought the storyline between Peyton and Brooke was the love story of the show. Because the love stories with all the boys, those are fun. Those are important. But Sophia and I had to fight for our own friendship, because a lot of people wanted to pit us against each other. it's like, oh, Hilarie won't do this, but Sophia will. And she's the pretty one. And she's this one, like there's just so much comparison that as a young person, it's hard to navigate. And she and I now can look back at it and be like, all those bastards. No. Like, we're the love story. So yeah, the female friendships were important on that show.